Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and today's video is about picking out the right knife for the job or picking the right knife for the day. Now, this is just a knife talk episode, so I'm basically just going to ramble and show you guys some stuff. So, the last few days at work, one of my jobs has been, well, multiple jobs, but like I have to open up a lot of boxes, So, you know, I'm opening up boxes and having to, you know, cut them open, and certain blade shapes work better than others, right? In the case for the job I've been doing the last couple days, by the way, this is the Demco AD 20.5, but the job I've been doing lately, it hasn't really required like insane geometry or anything, but a specific blade shape. Now, picking the right blade shape, because one of the parts of my job has been cutting straps, and not like one or two or three or four, hundreds and hundreds of straps, opening up hundreds of boxes. So having a knife, one that goes in and out of the pocket really nice, that carries and holds really nice in the hand, where I can make a cut, get it closed, use my hand still possibly, but also opening boxes really good, and then cutting straps like one after another. And I recorded a little clip so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. Now, these straps, they're not heavy duty straps. They're easy to cut. The geometry is not the biggest part, but the blade shape kind of is, because one, I don't want the strap to slip over the blade. Like if it had a big belly, you know, a big bellied knife, the strap could possibly just slip up and around the belly. Also, when I'm snagging the blade, or sorry, the strap, I like being able to just grip right underneath and it being hooked right into my blade. I can just cut it, pop it. Now, the next thing is, a lot of times I might close the knife and continue using this hand, or I might even just hold it in my hand with it open. But so my point with saying that is that I don't want something really big. Like when I was thinking about carrying this wouldn't have been a good option, because in my hand, it fills my hand so much, it doesn't give me much room to really work with my hands. You know, even with it closed, I'd have to put it away in order to continue work. This is the Concept Goblin XL. This knife is the TWOSUN TS111. Now, we're going to bring this back here in just a second. Another knife I considered actually today was this knife, but same thing with the Concept. This is the Dark Horse, or Dark Stallion, Black Stallion, from Off Grid Knives. It's a beast, this thing, and I'm liking this thing more and more the more I have it and flick it. And it's a solid knife, a hard use knife, but I'm not needing a hard use knife. Perfect blade shape, bad size. So you know, I was thinking of knives, you know, like this kind of, you know, Warncliffe style blades or sheep's foots, but blades, one, where I can get up and around the straps, cut the straps, and also do really good utility cuts. Now, the problem with this knife, which this is the CIVIVI hadros, is the liner lock. The access to the liner is just horrible. So I need a knife that I can easily get back in the pocket quick. You know, the less frustration I have, the better. Yes, I can always go like that, and you know, it's not as horrible as some knives, but it's still not great. I want something that's just, it works really good. You know, unlocking, flicking it out, getting it in action, getting it closed back in the pocket, one-handed very easily is nice. And when you do that hundreds of times, the lock bar access is very important. I even thought about carrying the Critical Mini, the Kaiser Critical Mini. Now, this would have been an awesome option. But the reason why I didn't was because I also got to consider my knives for review. This is 3V steel, micarta, amazing knife. And it's, yeah, a great buy, man. Very affordable. I think it's $100 for 3V and micarta, deep carry clip. Just an awesome knife. Great action. But I needed a knife also that I'm reviewing, because I want, you know, I can use these opportunities to review knives, because like even knives like this, you know, like a Mike Emler Artisan C Snake, this would have been awesome, you know, but I don't have a tech lock for it. And even if I took it off of something else and used it, you know, pulling this out, you know, using it and then blindly putting it back in this isn't the safest. I would probably end up putting it down and picking it back up, putting it down, picking it back up. And I'd rather just slip it back in my pocket. Man. So one of the days I wound up bringing, oh yeah, another knife I really did consider, but again, not a good knife because I've already reviewed it, is the CIVIVI ELEMENTUM button lock. Great blade shape, a lot of flat area right here for me to snag straps and pull straps. The belly's not too big to where it'll slip over, and a nice drop point, spear point blade. Good geometry too. So I know it's going to continue to cut all day. And geometry, like I said, isn't the biggest factor. As long as my edge is sharp, it'll work fine. But so many options, right? So many options. Now, even like knives like the Splinter, I could have used because I technically don't have a full review on this, but it's made it into a few videos, and I wanted to get a little bit more experience with other knives. So one of the knives I picked was the TWOSUN TS111. Now, this knife worked fantastic. It worked amazing. One, the clip works very well. So in and out of the pocket was great. It's extremely snappy. I mean, this thing has a snappy action. Very powerful opening. Now, the closing isn't the best because it does have a spot where it's a little late on the detent right there, but I could easily get past it, and I did get used to it very quickly. And, you know, when you're at work, you just kind of slap it shut anyways. But the blade shape and the grind and the edge just worked out great. Utility cuts were beautiful, slipping up and around straps, and then also the straight back design. This is kind of a sway back design though. Wrapped my fingers like this, bam, popping straps all day, and it worked fantastic. Now, I carried my secondary carry with that knife because I carry 2 knives a day, one in my Roman EDC, so something a little smaller and something a little larger. So I have 2 knives. Sometimes I have to hand a knife over to somebody. The other option was this Boker Kansai, which, you know, even though I don't need a harder use knife, it's a little more lighter weight use than I wanted. Now, this is good for opening boxes, no problems with that. But cutting the straps, yes, it worked, and I did use it a few times. But, you know, it is a very thin, light-duty liner lock. It's not the strongest knife or anything like that. This is a very light-duty knife, but it worked great. It did work. This isn't something I would use every day, all day there, but for one good day of work, it was okay. And remember, it was a backup, and I only probably used it a handful of times in the day. Now, the other knife I wound up bringing was the TWOSUN TS321. Now, this one, what did I just call it? Did I call it the right name? The kubey KU321. The kubey KU321, good blade shape because it has a nice decent area flat. The back right here, I can easily get around, you know, when I'm holding a strap, get up and around them, pop the straps. The back of the spine works really good. Lots of leverage, pulling backwards. And then the blade sits nice and forward for utility cuts. The access to lock bar, really good. Very, very smooth, fast deployment. The clip, it could be a better clip, but you know, switching to a, you see, I bent it up a little bit. So because it was a little tight right there and my pants couldn't get past there. I mean, they did, but it snagged up a few times. So I just bent it up just a little bit, and now it's been really good. But yeah, this one worked great. So this was an option that I did use. Now, another knife I wound up using, even though I don't have to review it and I don't have to test it, and I already have, it just seemed like such a good option. The Spyderco Delica. Now, this, since it has this way where you can unlock it and let it hit your finger, it worked out great. I could easily slap it open. The blade shape is perfect. Cutting straps was great. Utility cuts was great. Now, this was my secondary, but in some cases, it wound up being my primary for the day. So, and this one has amazing action. The spring on it has a good amount of tension to where it's very easy to snap open and get closed. And this one has an incredible edge on it. Holy cow, is this thing. It's even still razor sharp. So, very happy with how this thing worked out. But my mindset around today, just because of the specific task at hand, was evolving around a knife that, one, has good ergos, like in a reverse grip. Good ergos in a reverse grip. Not like it's comfortable in my palm right here, but against my fingers right here, you know, the spine of the knife. Second was good for cutting straps without the straps going over the blade. Now, like showing you a knife that would kind of be like a knife I probably wouldn't want would be like something like this, because one, when I hold it like this isn't very comfortable. Yes, it would work. And actually this isn't a great example, but I'm going to use it really quick because actually this one probably would have been okay. And I say that because I could have gotten to the strap and the strap would be locked in, only because if you look at it, it's cantered towards me. So the strap would have gotten locked in here. Now, if the blade was like this, then yeah, it has a bigger ability to slip up and around the edge, or, you know, around the knife. But you get what I'm saying, you know, like when, I guess something like this, right? This wouldn't have been good because, oh, sorry, that was the Kershaw Knockout, USA made Kershaw assisted opening. This is the Concept, the name's right here, Spirit. The Concept Spirit wouldn't have been a good option. It would have been fine for utility cuts, but not for cutting the straps, because the strap would have gotten right here and it could have slipped up and out. And like I said, when you're doing that many straps, you even though they're not heavy duty, you still want the best possible tool for the job. Now, I have other straps at my work that are really heavy duty, and in that case, that does require good geometry. Yes, I can do it with harder use knives. It's just not fun. A lot of times it winds up taking me 2 or 3 times before it'll cut through. So having a nice thin edge, like under 20 thousandths or 20 thousandths and under, is, especially with good edge geometry, so a nice sharp edge, that's when they can cut those straps. And good ergos. You don't want anything light duty or anything like that. You want something good ergos, and then it's easy to cut those straps. But these light duty straps, you know, it's kind of about speed and also comfort in the hand. And like I said, the other knives, they were really good for the hand, where I could close them up and still use my hand for stuff. Because a lot of times I might have to close it up, grab something over here or whatever. So, but just a, you know, a little like kind of behind the scenes look into, you know, testing a knife and getting the right knife for the job, and, you know, some of the struggles with picking out the right knife for the job and exactly what you're wanting and exactly what you're looking for, while still trying to figure it out between the models you still have in for review, or that you should be testing, rather than knives you've already tested that you already know would work great. Because in a lot of times that's what I have to do. I have to lean back to, this is the best tool for the job. I know I've already reviewed it and tested it and I love it, so this is the one I'm going to pick. But now, like the Demco 8020, this actually might have been a decent option. You know, maybe not the thinnest behind the edge, but like I said, the geometry wasn't a huge factor, but it would have worked out pretty good. Utility cuts would have been good. Cutting straps would have been decent, not the best, but, you know, it would have worked okay. But there you guys go. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.